Hey everyone, it is Dr. Lynn here. Today I'm going to be talking about womb healing and different cultural beliefs on womb healing, the traditional Chinese medicine view on it, what womb healing even is, and why it's important now, especially when we're trying to connect with our ancestors, our deeper wisdom that lives inside of our bodies. So stay tuned for the rest of this video. I'm going to be talking what is the womb? Why is it important for healing now? What does it mean to connect with our ancestors or connect with the deeper wisdom that lives inside of our bodies? And also, I'm going to be sharing some tools on what we can do to help facilitate womb healing for ourselves at home, or if we want to learn some of these tools on how to go deeper into. I'm also going to be diving into the 3 different perspectives on womb healing from different cultures: the Chinese view, the Mayan view, and the Egyptian view. So stay tuned for that. I'm also going to be talking a little bit and weaving in all of the different womb healing stories that I have experienced and that I have facilitated for my own clients. So let's go into it. So, as a disclaimer, I am a doctor of Chinese medicine and acupuncture, but this video is just educational. It's purely educational. If you are experiencing any pain, womb imbalances, anything that you just need support with, please do seek a professional. Please do consult with somebody that can give you medical advice about these things, because I am here just providing you educational material that could empower you in remembering the wisdom of your own body. Okay. When I started learning about what could heal my womb, I started getting so lit up, you guys. Like, I started really showing up for myself in a different way. I started really embodying my own true, authentic being in such a different way, in such a more vibrant way, in a more expressive, enthusiastic way, because I was so much more in my body. I was so much more in this womb space. I was so much more in my divine yin or divine feminine. I like to call it divine yin because I like to look at it very much in the traditional Chinese medicine view. That's my expertise. That's what I can share about. That's what I'm here to share about: the wisdom of Chinese medicine and the body's wisdom, really, the body's energetics. That is what I'm so passionate in sharing about. And this is what I'm going to be talking to you guys about today, specifically about the womb space and why it's important. So let's dive in. What is the womb? The womb is, well, essentially, it could be this word that refers to your uterus, your vagina, just like this lower abdomen area. The ancient Chinese call this lower abdomen area 2 to 3 inches below your navel the dantian, which translates into the elixir field. And this elixir field is an important place because it is exactly what it sounds like. It's this elixir of life. You create an elixir of life in this place with your breath, with your food, with all of the self cultivation, the lifestyle things that you do. All that creates energy and accumulates in this place, and it is stored here in the dantian, in your uterus, in your womb, and it creates life. And seriously, one of the most fascinating things to me in our whole human nature is like the fact that people with uteruses can create babies in humans. Like, just like, if you just take like one minute and just think about that, like, it's just amazing, right? So we get to do that even if we don't have a uterus. Energetically, the ancient Chinese believe that we each have a dantian. We each have an elixir field. We each have this place that accumulates and collects our essence, our energy, all the chi life force that we receive from food, from meditation, from being with loving family and friends and partners. Like, all of that place can get accumulated here, and we can create from that beautiful space. That is important to know. Okay. So the womb space can also be this general term that's umbrella of all of like the female reproductive organs. So that is another way to understand it. And why is it important to understand the womb? Why is it important now more than ever to do womb healing? And what even is womb healing? So womb healing is exactly what it sounds like. It is essentially healing, bringing energetic intention of healing into this space, this lower abdomen, into our uterus, into our feminine reproductive organs, into all reproductive organs, really, but just to bring energy into the space, because oftentimes In Chinese medicine, there's a lot of acupuncture meridians. Like, right, we learn about how there's meridians that are going up and down the body, all around. Everything is connected. But in particular, we have a lot of really special acupuncture meridians that go into the hips, that go into this lower dantian reproductive area, into our genitals and things like this. So we have a lot of energy that goes into here. And when energy is flowing, it's flowing in these meridians, sort of like a road. And when that road gets blocked, that's when we have traffic, right? We get traffic, we're stuck in traffic for 20, 30 minutes to an hour. Oh my gosh, we obviously don't want to do that, right? It makes us late, it gets us flustered, we have to rush, right? We lose time when things are blocked. In Chinese understanding, when energy is blocked in the body, that is when we have pain. That is when we have emotional pain, mental pain, spiritual pain, because when our energy is not flowing, that's when we have imbalance. Okay. So when we do have energy that's here, that is stuck in the womb space, it collects more energy, right? Because energy is continuing to flow through, just like traffic. When more cars come, it creates this longer standing stagnation, and that can transform into different things over time. But what we're talking about here is I want to bring up some really specific examples. Why, essentially, and when we're doing womb healing. One of them is healing or cutting cords, essentially. We might hear this as cutting cords, which is essentially cutting an energetic connection that you have to something, to somebody, to a place. And essentially, what happens, especially in our womb space, because it is this container that can create life, it is this container that energy wants to stick to, an energy that wants to connect to. So it's really easy for energy to get stuck here. It's really easy for energy to want to attach to. So we can do relationship cord cutting, right? We can clear a lot of relationship energy, past relationship energy. We can clear a lot of emotions that are stuck in this place, like maybe sheer like maybe emotions that get stuck here often is shame and guilt and grief and rage, often gets stuck in these deeper places of our body, in our hips. Stress can also be present here in the hips. We often have different places in our body where we hold stress. So the hips and the womb space and our reproductive organs are a big one, right? If you look at the Hindu tradition, looking at the chakra systems, you can also refer to this area, right? The lower abdomen, the reproductive system, the lower, really just like this lower part of the body, the hips into the genitals. That's like the root chakra to the sacral chakra, right? There's a lot of blockages there, especially when we have experienced trauma, if we experienced difficulties in the past, if we have experienced difficult experiences that we haven't fully integrated or digested or processed, it can sometimes get stuck there and repressed in our body because, as we know from the book, the body keeps the score, and much more research that is out these days about the body. We know that trauma, memories, emotions get stored in these areas, and they want to be moved. This energy wants to be moved. The traditional Chinese medicine view of this is that it's all energy, right? All emotions, all traumatic experiences, all the things are all energy. It's all chi, and it's flowing through our bodies and then gets stuck, right? And we have to move that energy. So I'm going to be sharing with you some tools on how to move that energy, but I want to give you one more example of why we would use womb healing. Another example is that we would be clearing some karmic, even ancestral and spiritual connections that we have in this space. Okay. If you think about this space, we can create life here, right? We can create all life here. It's an extremely creative place, right? We can use this energy that we cultivate to create things, businesses, projects, babies, art projects, all these things we can create from this place. We can use that chi life force to create from. And at the same time, we can help to move and release and clear any energetic, ancestral, or even karmic connections that we have. So I myself have done a lot of different womb healing practices, exercises, such as strengthening the uterine walls, really bringing my awareness focused meditation to this place, and even calling in guidance from my spirit guides, my masters, ascended masters, teachers, and loved ones, my ancestors, to like help me with this space, to help clear out any energy that's in this space that like doesn't serve me. And I'm telling you, like, it has made all the difference in me showing up as I do, and me really like living my most authentic, vibrant, expressive life. And also has helped me improve my health. Like in Chinese medicine, when we say that when we balance one area out of the body, right, it's that area is so much connected to all these other areas in your body. So when you balance one part, it's going to shift for another. So by just doing womb healing practices, by moving energy in this area, it has actually improved my menstrual cycle. I don't get cramps. I have a very regular cycle. I used to get all this hormonal acne, and really just feel so like insecure about my acne, not confident. I don't get much acne anymore, and my hormones are much more balanced. I sleep well now. All these different things have happened because I have really made the intention to change my diet, change my lifestyle, exercise, do all the physical things, but also at the same time do the energetic healing, do the spiritual healing that has allowed me to open up so much more and trust my own ability, my own connection to my spirit, to my medicine, to the things that I am being told from my own body that I need. Okay. So this is why we do the womb healing. Of course, there's so many more reasons, but those are my main reasons. Those are the things I've experienced. Those are the things I've seen other people work on, right? I also want to dive into the anatomy of the womb, because the anatomy of the womb is fascinating. We think about the womb space, the uterus, as this sort of bowl, this bowl that holds life, that it's sort of a container. And I believe that in like Christian mysticism, they believe that the womb is almost like a chalice. It gets filled in wine and blood and nourishment and magic, right? It's like also like a cauldron. A cauldron is this kind of womb shaped um, pot that you put all your herbs in, you make magic, and you do your craft. Our womb space is a representation of that. It's a symbol of all of those things, right? And it is permeating through many, many cultures. I'm going to dive into that just in a little bit. But let's talk about the cervix, because the cervix has been showing up for me a lot lately in my life, just like really thinking about it, really bringing my attention there, and also for other people in my life as well. This year, I found out that I had cervical dysplasia, which totally threw me for a loop, because I was like, oh my goodness, like I'm this healing practitioner. I know so much about body energetics, and that led me deeper into an initiation into my body to learn more about the cervix, to learn more about its connection to my body, to know more about the mind body spirit connection of why my cervix was going through this imbalance, and how I could shift my own lifestyle so I could heal this imbalance. One of the most beautiful things that I learned about the cervix is that it's essentially like this gateway, because it's like the very kind of opening into your uterus, right? It's this opening, this energetic opening, and when you get in touch with that place, it's a very like tender place. They actually say in many spiritual traditions, they say that the cervix reflects the heart. It's like the heart of the womb. Just like in our chest, we have this part that pumps blood everywhere, and it sends this electrical field outwards, and we receive information through that electrical field. Our cervix also has that really powerful connection. If you think about our heart inside of our own womb, that is the cervix. It's picking up on information spiritually and energetically. It is essentially the gateway into our uterus, right? And so it is so much about us being able to express our heart, us being able to listen to our heart's desires, us being able to bring in information that is aligned for us. And I also want to say, when I was doing research, I'm not exactly sure where I found this out, but I did like a lot of research on this, and it says, and they actually say in anatomy that the same tissue that makes up your throat, they actually say that the same tissue that makes up your throat, that makes up all of this, the same body tissue is the same body tissue at that the same tissue that makes up your cervix. And there is something magical there, because when I'm more speaking my truth, right, using my throat, using these throat tissues here, this also is doing something in my womb space. So our womb space is almost equivalent to the seat of our power. The ancient Japanese believed this place as the hara, which was like the seat of our power. This is where our power, the ancient Japanese knew this space as the seat of our power. And when a person passed away, essentially they would end up slicing the hara, this womb space, and that would then signify that they were officially gone, because they were taking away their seat of power, this place of power. So they were essentially taking away that seat of power. And so I really believe that when we are expressing our throat, when we're expressing our truth, when we're expressing our emotions, it is also moving energy, not only in our womb space, but all over in our body, and our liver, and our kidneys, all of the things, but especially in our womb space. And when we are speaking the truth of our own power, it's coming out through our throat. It's being rooted and fundamentally coming from this place, powered from this place like a battery, and allowing us to express it out through our throat, through our voice. And that is important, especially when it comes to the womb. There's a lot of connection to like voice activation, voice reclamation, to like womb, right? Because for so long, if you think about just the matriarchal lineages and the feminine energy outside of gender, but just like when you start thinking about just this divine yin energy that is connected to our feminine organs, it's very much connected to us being able to speak our truth. And for so long, for thousands of years, we've been depressed, repressed, marginalized, told that we were crazy, all of these things, because we were speaking our truth, because we were speaking from this place of the womb, because we were advocating, creating communities and creating things that came from this really sacred place. And I truly believe that we are coming back to that. We are coming back to the wisdom of our womb. You can see it, you can feel it. I think on many, many levels. And we're being asked to learn how to receive, because the womb, if you think about divine yin energy, it's also this really powerful force. It's the seat of our power, but actually it's at the same time, it's a receiver. It receives divine yin energy. It receives that chi life force, so that we could bring that force into other ways. And I think that is very much coming back. And that brings me to talk about ancestral wisdom, because ancestral wisdom is so important here. So we're going to dive deeper into the matriarchal lineages, the importance of the mother archetype, especially when it comes to the womb space, because the mother gives birth to her children. The mother cultivates life in this womb space, in the womb, in the uterus. And if you think about it, they actually say that we receive our mitochondrial DNA, our energy life force, the source of our energy life force, from our mother. And then they also say that the eggs that each person who's born with ovaries have, they are born with these ovaries. And then these ovaries are then continuing to be passed on. They're continuing to be passed on. They're saying now that those who are born with ovaries essentially have all the eggs that they need when they are born. They're born with that from their mother. And in their mother was born with all the eggs that they needed from their mother, and so on and so forth. So, like, all of the eggs that we were given were continuing to be connected. They existed inside of our grandmothers and great grandmothers, and before that. And so there is this deep energetic connection between creation to the feminine energy when we talk about the womb space, when we talk about divine yin energy. And I really truly feel like we are returning to the divine yin. We're turning to really healing this place for all beings, not only for those who identify as female or assigned at female at birth, but just for everybody, because we all each hold yin and yang inside of our bodies. This is what the ancient Chinese told us and understood, that each one of us hold these energies and we all have different spectrums of it. At this very moment, that the energies are being healed along with the feminine, the masculine energies being healed as well. And so to go deeper into and to go deeper into the ancestral healing, the ancestral wisdom that's connected in our womb space, we can actually deeply connect with our matriarchal lineage, our maternal lineage. We can deeply connect with our maternal lineage, and we can deeply connect with our maternal lineage and our grandmother energy and our deep mother energy and all these archetypes that the feminine energy holds in this sacred place of the womb. And I'm going to be talking about 3 different cultures and their beliefs on womb healing. My first one is going to be from traditional Chinese medicine. This is my expertise. This is what I know. And what I understand about this, and from what I've researched and what I've done over the years, is I understand this place as the divine yin, right? And when yin is essentially imbalanced, yang gets imbalanced. So yin and yang are these energies. Yin and yang are these energies that we use in Chinese medicine to do healing, to work with the body, to work with energetics. And so when we are working with yin and yang, we have to understand that sometimes yin and yang become imbalanced, and we have to learn how to harmonize those energies. So I feel like in this very moment now, we are harmonizing yin and yang. We're really in this mode of clearing out things that really don't serve us, like clearing out habit patterns, behaviors, relationships that don't serve us. And we are beginning to harmonize yin and yang. And that looks different for each person. And when we talk about womb healing, we're going to be talking about different acupuncture meridians and different acupuncture meridians. I do want to say different acupuncture meridians, and we can actually work with those meridians to bring healing into the womb space, into the uterus. But in particular, if we're breaking down even more into what organ systems do we want to work with, what energies do we want to work with, we want to move energy in this area. We want to nourish our kidneys, because our kidneys are related to our ancestral energy. They're related to our reproductive system. And we want to take care of our heart and our liver, because our heart is going to be this place that essentially our spirit lives, our consciousness lives, and that helps to interpret all the emotions and experiences that we experience, and also that our ancestors have experienced. So a lot of things become filtered through this place and move throughout the body. And it's very important for our menstrual cycle. Like, so important. And I will definitely do another video all about this going forward. I actually did a talk about traditional Chinese medicine in the womb cycle and all about the womb energetics about this recently with the 2024 BIPOC Herbalism Conference. If you are interested in taking that workshop, I will have it available on my website coming soon, probably by the end of this year. So stay tuned for that. And also at the same time, we want to make sure our liver is in balance, right? Our liver energy is so much about like helping us moderate stress, helping us kind of move our energy outward so we can get things done through our life. And also at the same time, it's like moving forward with visions, moving forward with what we're here to do. When we're not doing those things, when we're not living our heart's desires and the things that we're here to do, our heart and our liver becomes imbalanced. They get a little blocked. So we have to make sure that there's like so many different, from a Chinese medicine perspective, there's so many different factors that come into womb healing. So I really think it's fascinating when I'm working with someone and doing womb healing practices and giving them body energetics. I'm like, everything is connected. So you just start one place, like you start with nourishing your kidneys, with rest and eating right. That is going to cause a ripple effect of wellness into the rest of your body. Let's dive into 2 other cultural views and traditions that dive into womb healing. Let's start with the Egyptian, because the Egyptians knew the womb space, the uterus, as this very sacred place. They knew this as a place where you could create life. They created a lot of rituals and worked with a lot of sacred plants and incantations and magic in order to bring more healing to this place, in order to create from this place and do alchemy from this place. They did a lot of cleansing rituals. They did a lot of rituals to aid birth and fertility. You know, a lot of the ancient goddesses or deities and gods of the ancient Egyptian pantheon and mythologies were so much about sex and fertility and medicine and magic and alchemy. They were all very much very, very, very interconnected and linked with the alchemy of the reproductive organ systems for both the male and the female side. And when it comes to also womb healing, they were just so connected to that symbolism of the womb, which was like through this, like the circle, through the Ankh, and also through the circle of Eye of Ra, which is so much about being able to cultivate eternal life, which eternal life happens when we're cultivating that inwards in our body. And I really truly think that they were talking about this elixir field of life as one of those places. So let's talk about the last view, which is the Mayan view. So the ancient Mayans have a very similar view of the womb to the Chinese. And what's really fascinating to me is there's this book called, I believe, Blood and Bones, but essentially it's this comparison between ancient traditional Chinese medicine and Mayan medicine and how they sort of overlap. And there's a lot of like really deep similarities and really like beautiful practices that each cultures and medicine paths that hold together. So the Mayans really believe that this place, of course, is a very sacred place. It's revered as the center of energy and connection for the earth and the universe. They knew that you had to bring more energy into this place to move the energy through here, so energy didn't get stuck. You had to really clear out energy in the womb space, and also it was really important to make sure that you had a good blood flow for fertility and well-being. And they also believe that the Mayans also believe that emotional and spiritual distress impacted the womb space and this led to physical ailments in the womb. So literally saying that emotional, mental, and spiritual causes of imbalance cause physical imbalances, literally like psychosomatic illnesses, which we know today. But essentially, they would use healing prayers, rituals, plants, herbs, abdominal massage, things of this sort to help clear out the womb space as well, to do womb healing practices and rituals. So there is so much here. So there is so much overlap in those cultural understandings and traditions of the womb and womb healing. I want to talk about some tools that you can use for your own womb healing journey and things that I have personally used and things that I have learned from my teachers that I share with clients. And of course, a lot of these practices are things that you're going to do on your own that you can cultivate for yourself without any teacher, without any person. One of them I recommend is journaling. Journaling is just like one of my biggest things, but having a way where you can channel or write down or share information unfiltered and having it live there, not needing to do anything with it, but just having that place that you can put all of your thoughts, emotions, experiences into a place so they can live there, so they can sometimes live outside of your body, so they don't, take up more space. It's sort of like a cleansing practice for your mind, for your mental. It's like clearing out all the thoughts and the emotions, all the things, and putting it somewhere. That's one practice that I say. And also doing prompts such as like what is womb healing to me? Why is my womb important? What can I do to facilitate my own womb healing? What needs to be shared through my womb healing practice? What did I receive during my womb healing practice? All of those questions are great to bring in when you're doing this type of work. And then I want to dive into some herbs that you can use. One herb that I love, love, love is mugwort. And essentially, what I recommend is I recommend you doing an herbal steam or herbal bathing in this. you can go get your dried mugwort, and you throw some of that mugwort, maybe just maybe like 1 to 3 grams of mugwort, like a small little bundle, a small little handful, and you put that in boiling water. You let that steep for about 5 to 10 minutes. You let that cool down just for a bit, and then you sit over that just with your yoni, or you can do an herbal bath. You want to make sure you test the water out before you get in, and you just steam and you just bathe and you receive the medicinal qualities of mugwort. Mugwort is great because it actually warms the womb. It brings more energy into our acupuncture meridians. It helps to move energy, and it also relieves pain and cleanses the energetic field as well. It's just like a really powerful herb that you can use. There's many herbs that you can add into the herbal bath as well, which is like lavender, rose, different things like this that can help to kind of help calm the body, bring more nourishment to the body and to the yoni as well. So there is another thing is another my third thing is cycle tracking. So beginning to understand your own cycles, begin to understand the own wisdom of your body. Your body was created with everything it needs, with all the intelligence, with all of the built-in systems that you don't actually have to think about. That happens every single day, every month. Your body wasn't created with that. Your body was created with that intelligence to keep you optimal, to keep you living your authentic state. And so let us give some gratitude for your body. Like send yourself gratitude. And also at the same time, begin to know and build a relationship with your own cycles, with your own cyclical wisdom, because your body is embedded with so much wisdom. It is so embedded with all of the medicine that you need to start to understand, okay, what do I need to help myself even more? What do I need to do to align and harmonize my body and my life even more? Your body's always showing you the way. And my last thing is doing any archetypal medicine. So what I mean by this is finding an archetype, finding an image, finding a goddess, a god, finding a plant, finding any sort of role model or thing that really inspires you, that inspires you to get more into your divine yin energy, that gets you more inspired to tap more into your womb space. It could be a goddess. My favorite goddess is Kuan Yin, and a few goddesses from the Hindu pantheon, such as Saraswati, who is the goddess of creativity, music, and then also Lakshmi, who is the Hindu goddess of wealth and abundance and flowers and gold and, just like abundance and self-worth. She's the goddess of, so like having these archetypes, having these different pictures and images and visions that we can sort of follow and connect to is very important on our own medicine journey as well. And my last thing I want to say is build a relationship to your womb, to your blood on your moon cycle, and also when you can begin to pay attention to the moon phases, especially in connection to your own menstrual cycle. Like begin to say, okay, I'm starting my menses like near the full moon, near the new moon, because that definitely tells you something. When you're starting menses closer to your new moon, that's when you're more connected to fertility and creating more of a spaciousness and environment within yourself to create life. When you're starting menses closer to a full moon, that is when you're like really shifting, when you're transitioning, when you're like moving things out and clearing things out of the body. Because if you notice in all of those three traditions, the ancient Chinese, the Mayan, the Egyptians, and many other cultures, they truly do really emphasize like clearing out energy and also restoring energy, bringing healing rituals to the space. So we do want to go through those ebbs and flows of like clearing out, moving, transforming, and then more nourishing energy, more grounding energy, more energy that like cultivates and creates life and holds, right? And so we want to just find a balance with all of those different energies, and these are different tools on how to. I want to encourage you, if you found anything inspiring in this, please do take action on it. And if you liked anything here, please like and subscribe or share with a friend, because seriously, like we are here to share the medicine. We are here to inspire others on their journeys. And I also want to say, when it comes to ancestral healing, when it comes to multi-generational healing, when we are doing this deep inner work of our womb space, like moving energy and emotions in the space, we are doing the work for so many others. We are healing on multiple different dimensions and levels for our ancestors and for the people who come after us. So when you are doing this work, I thank you and I honor you for showing up for yourself and for your well-being and for the well-being of your community, because you are doing it, and that is so honorable. And I want to thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you next time.